Many thoughts of grief may have flooded Walter White's mind after Hank was killed in Breaking Bad, but the reason why Walt tells Jesse the truth about Jane's death is indicative of his true nature. Walt's evolution to becoming Heisenberg was created out of a series of events of desperation and tragedy. His own selfishness and greed were seemingly well-intentioned for his family's sake. But as always, before we get into it, let me say hello guys and gals, I'm Nick and welcome to Firthy's Feedback. So, Walt's motivations for his deeds as the show progresses become less and less about his original intention. Whatever was left of Walt's good nature had been overtaken by his need for control of his remaining life. The reason Walt confessed to Jesse about Jane's death ties into this steady downfall of Walt's morals and motivations. Walter White becomes truly irredeemable after spotting Jesse hiding in the wake of Hank's murder, as he realised Jesse had done the very thing Walt did with Jane, watching as someone dear to him died. Up until then, the true nature of Jane's death was a horrific event only Walt knew about. But when Jesse unknowingly replicated that scenario, Walt decided to even the score and confess. This confession also gave Walt a sense of control after falling to grief. The fact that this confession comes after Walt decided to have Jack kill Jesse reveals that Walt didn't think death was satisfying vengeance. He wanted to further hurt Jesse emotionally in the way he was hurting at that moment. Having a loved one taken away is in itself tragic, but knowing someone watched and did nothing to save them makes it even more devastating. That was his parting gift to Jesse, another reason viewers shouldn't root for Walter White. Walt's confession gave him the illusion of power in a situation where he had none. Revenge was his main motivation in confessing, but what Walt truly desired was the kind of power that no longer made him feel like the weak and helpless man cancer and life made him feel as though he was. Even if he couldn't control what was happening, the power to inflict the kind of pain and helplessness onto others that he too suffered was gratifying for Walt, making his actions ever more disturbing. Throughout Breaking Bad, it was crystal clear that cooking meth gave Walt the control he had been missing in his life prior. Walt's need for power, however, grew from his yearning to not die grovelling. Hank, though, wounded and helpless, died the way Walt wanted to live. Composed. Power gave Walt that level of control over his emotions, stealing him and changing him at the same time. Going from Walter White to Heisenberg was his way of further demonstrating that, despite the crime and tragedy that shrouded his life, Walt's true Breaking Bad nature was one shockingly undisturbed by his actions. What do you guys think? Was Walt always searching for power? And did he feel slightly jealous about how Hank handled himself in the situation before he died? Let me know below.